All right, now I'm going to give an overview of the River Edge Farms drone videos. So this is the east side of the creek. The big creek is down this way. The entrance with the gate is right in this area, which we're going to open this up a little bit more. We're just working on, with the dozer guy, cleaning all this out because this is where the beavers had kind of dammed the creek that kind of runs down through here. Had dammed it up and kind of flooded all this area. And so now we're getting all that drained out, getting all the beaver dams taken care of, and opening up the trail system. So basically, just for perspective, it's kind of hard to tell from the drone perspective on everything because it's such a big property. It's hard to get it all in frame. But basically, the property line is over this direction on the far right side, kind of runs up along this area and then all the way back to the very back, and then down this way to the road and back around. Okay, so keeping in mind here, we're going to fly down. This is an area where you could put. We're going to open that up a little bit. You could put a camper or a cabin or a home site or something. Again, this is where they cleaned out all the beaver dams and stuff. You can see this is the wetland area I mentioned on the map. Quite a bit of that is on the other person's property, but roughly about this area is where the property line is. So this is, and it was pretty flooded until we took those beaver dams out. Again, you can either dam it back up if you want to flood the area more, or you can just let it flow and it drains really well. You can see where they've cut some of the timber and it's growing back, and then other areas they left quite a bit of good timber, and so they did. It's growing up mostly hardwood. There is some pine mixed in, but on this side it's a lot of hardwood. You can see the trail. We've got a dozed-in trail coming along this way, and let me just show you on the map. So this is, again, where we're coming in at. We're kind of coming along here. Here's where that wetland area is, coming along the trail, headed up to this part of the property right here. This portion right here is coming up right in this area here. So this is where we're actually going to open up some more food plots. These used to be some food plots down into here. And so we're going to open those back up, and then the trail continues this way. There's a trail that goes back this way to the left here, and that's this one. This one right here. And then I think it's up here. Yeah, actually right there. It kind of cuts to the left. That's where the trail kind of comes down and makes a big loop. Okay. And this is the area that we're planning on putting in a bridge right in this area, because there's a big creek that comes right in through here, and then the trail kind of picks up and goes along back off in this way. There you can see the edge of the creek. So again, the property goes down that way. Pretty decent timber. Some of it's smaller from where it was cut before, but then some of it's quite large. So, and this is part of the area that was shown as the wetlands map on the map. But again, during the summer or when it's drained well, it's not completely wet. But during the winter, it can be some. Again, depending on how well you keep the drainage creeks cleaned out. Again, coming up on this area right here, that's going to be closer towards the back of the property. So we're kind of have flown over this direction, looking more that direction now, I believe, yeah. It's hard to tell exactly, but from what I understand, the back of the property, so we're looking at this area right in here where it's cut a little bit shorter, and then they've got the mature trees right off in this area. So these are the mature trees. This is the cut area. Okay, so the property line's right back here. I think it runs roughly over in this area, and then across through this, there's some pines right here that it kind of splits and kind of comes over and then kind of back down the edge of the property line there. Large landowners adjoining it, So there's thousands of acres of just open wilderness around it. Again, the back of the property's roughly in this general area, along through there, and then kind of comes back this way. We're gonna turn the drone around here. You can see a lot of planted pine on the neighbor's property. That kind of helps you identify the property line here is basically where the string of trees that they left as a buffer when they did cut the property. So all that's the neighbors, thousands of acres of timberland and other large landowners and stuff like that. Let's turn all the way back. So this is looking back towards the road a little bit. You can't see the road from here, obviously, because you're about a mile back. But this is from closer to the back of the property, kind of looking back towards the road. You can see a lot of hardwood timber there on the property. Again, now we've turned around and we're kind of looking back this way. You can see those fields for perspective. These fields over here are these fields. So we're kind of backed over here. That's these fields that you're seeing right here. I believe on those. Or actually, it may be those. I think the drone will turn here in a second. But essentially, believe the creek is running along in this general area. Kind of cutting along back that way. The property line is kind of running along this way, out towards the road out there. Creek along in through here. Yep, we can start to see the creek. Which this was taken in the summertime. We're in the middle of a really, really hot summer, and so the creek is a little lower. I may have some wintertime shots so you can see how much water's in the creek, but it's still got quite a bit of flow even in the lowest point of the hot summertime. Again, you can see some trails here and in here, and you can just see the trail through the trees there. That's the one that runs all along the creek. This one right here, it kind of runs all along in there. So creek running through here. There's the trails coming out. There's that wetland area. Again, a portion of it is on this property, but probably about that much. Some of that is on the neighbor's property. Okay, I had to switch drone shots here, but this is a little closer up. You can see the trail coming in. And again, we're flying the drone back this way. This is that wetland area to the left. And so you can kind of see that and the trail system coming out to the road with the creek all along the edge here. And then you can see that other trail coming to this point right here where these larger trees are. That's this point right here where it kind of curves back around into a fish hook to right here. We're talking with the dozer guy about potentially connecting these to make a loop to connect these trails because it's not very far. There is a ditch that kind of runs down through there, so we're thinking we're going to come down and then connect it on the other side there. And so that way you'll have just one big loop. Again, you can see that trail there, and then you can start to see the road frontage there. So there's the road frontage. And that's Van Buren, Carolina Road right there. Okay, so there's Van Buren, Carolina Road. You can see the creek continues on into the neighbor's property there. Kind of comes across, and there's a bridge right there, or right back over here. And there's some of those trails. The wetland area. Back the drone up here. So you can, okay, there it is. There's the creek. You can see it's pretty good size creek there. Again, this is the trail system kind of coming back this direction. That's going to be these trails. Hang on. These trails right here, up closer to the road. So and it runs all along the edge of the creek back over to where we're going to build a bridge to connect up with the other trails, because that bridge is washed out. So we're going to put a really big bridge there, and then kind of coming back this way. And there you go. So now we're starting at kind of the middle of the property. You see the edge over here. That's going to be, I believe, the very back of this field. So the drone's sitting somewhere in this general area, and we're going to do a pan up from the left to the right here. So there's the creek running all along. Property boundary kind of goes up over this way, over, and then kind of back down this side. You can see there's pretty decent timber over here. Again, panning back to the right, looking back at the creek there. That's a good place to stop. You can see the creek a little better in there. The trails going back. This is roughly the property boundary right along in through here, along this edge. And then looking back, there's the little small wetland area, and the road's like out here, out this direction.